Oh, it's being live streamed. Why, thank you for letting me know.
In case you were not sure.
It was like, they're recording this. And I was like, yes, I know. I look great for no makeup. Did he just fuck off?
I think he totally did. He just yeah, he was like, all right, peace. Just threw up the
Makeup,
deuces.
I'm out.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure we'll be getting an invite back any moment, knowing Rick. So yeah, this is always
Just
amazing.
muted himself.
Yeah.
Last time it was not anything, like it was really straightforward when it was just me and him.
Well,
last time.
I kind of have like a joke about myself where it's like, if something can go wrong and I'm involved, it will go wrong. So that, you know,
I'm the beacon of poor customer service. If terrible customer service can happen, it will happen to me. So like my prescription is really strong. I went to I used to go to Specsavers, which is, I don't know whether the States have it, but it's a big brand here in the UK of opticians. And I went, got my eyes tested and stuff. And the woman dealing with it was like, because your vision is so bad. And like, she said that phrase about 7 times whilst I was trying on frames. And I was like, I'm not coming back. Like,
because you're basically blind, let me remind you again about how terrible your eyesight is over and over again. Like, no, for sure.
Like, you've never heard this before, but your vision is terrible. And I'm guessing it's only just happened, and it's not happened since you were a child. So like, I have to get my lenses thinned like 3 times for them to be normalish.
Wild. No, we don't have anything here called a Specsavers. We have like Optoland or something like that. It's something stupid. And then we have like America's Best. And it's like, oh, okay.
I go to like a little family opticians now, but I also got poor customer service there. They lost my prescription.
Oh man.
So instead of my glasses taking like a week to arrive, it took 5. And they were like, this never happens. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Cool. It happens to me. So I'm a beacon for terrible customer service. Like, if something will go wrong in a restaurant, like an order will be really cocked up, it will be mine.
Of course. Where'd you go, Rick? You just like disappeared on us. And
like, yeah, so I know that we're interesting, but there was no need to fuck off like that.
Well, so you know how I said that like my computer will accidentally turn off because the power button's right there? It's exactly what happened.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. I put it live, and then I went to mute my computer, and then it was just like, hey, we're going to turn off now, so fuck me, right?
Yes,
fuck your drag. Like.
Yeah. So anyway, I have no idea what's happened because I couldn't see or hear any of it, except we're apparently talking about glasses.
That's pretty much all that happened.
I didn't realize that we were like streaming. So it went on to a discussion about how if something was going to go wrong, it would happen with Daniel. And I was saying that I'm a beacon for poor customer service.
You would be wrong, Dan, because it happened to me.
But I'm involved. If I hadn't been here, you would have been fine.
Were you involved last weekend whenever I kept fucking shit up?
Probably.
Allegedly. Anyway, yeah, so, we'll introduce ourselves real quick. I'm Rick. I'm the Dungeon Master for Hammer of the Gods. We're going to do some character creation, our monthly stream with Ellie. Ellie, would you like to say who you are?
Hi, I'm Ellie, also known as Pleasure Nerd on all social medias. And I forgot the end of that sentence.
What do you do?
Oh yeah, I do art stuff. Thanks for reminding me. I'm really great. I've got this intro down. I am an artist. I do like illustration, pixel art, paintings. I have not niched down, so it's all of the above.
I still think the best way to do it. I think the niche, it obviously works to an extent, but you're going to burn yourself out so fast doing that because it's just the same thing.
I will burn myself out in literally a month. I do not have the attention span to stay with one art style. So like at the moment, I'm trying to work into a more stylized kind of art thing, like illustration, because I think that could be quite fun.
Yeah, completely.
But don't expect consistency from me. Pass it over
Consistently
to Dan.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Dan, who are you?
I'm Dan, and I play on Hampod. I play as Bion in the Bad Boys segment, and then I also have recently been playing as Gil, except
Recently,
Gil.
you've been playing as Gil for way longer than Bion.
Yeah, that's true. So Bion is recently. Gil has been a long time friend. But yeah, so that's all I do. I don't create anything. I don't make art. I don't do anything fun except for play. I'm just a child.
I
Yeah.
mean, character playing is ultimate fun. Got your little shit. Sorry.
It is a good.
Nice.
Mhm.
Um,
Anyone who's in the chat knows this was a bug that's been bugging for a while.
It was asking for it. I saw it.
It was. It was.
So I have no idea what the fuck is going on, but I cannot see chat today at all.
I can't see anyone in chat.
But that's fine. I mean, nobody likes us that much anyway.
It's a bit of fun.
I'm in the chat right now.
Oh, there we go. I finally fucking found it. Okay.
I'm in the chat right now. There we go. That way everybody knows.
How cute.
Oh yeah.
You sent me a photo 9 minutes ago.
Yeah. So because
Nice.
I
Oh, I just now got that. What you sent.
yeah, so like, I'm not like logged into the same account on my phone, but I had it saved on my phone. I was like, I'll just send this to both of you separately because we were talking about the acceptance of the word cunt in America versus the UK. So yeah,
My shit
It
was
was
on do not disturb again.
of course. For chat, who doesn't know, it was a D&D meme about, but not about, but like referencing DMs being cunts. So
From the boys.
yeah, true. I have not seen that, so I forget that that's a thing.
Well, it's pretty fun.
It's got some themes that I would find upsetting, so I'm not going to watch.
That's fair.
It's not great, but it is. I
It's
don't know.
like Game of Thrones, not going to watch. Vikings, not going to watch.
Yeah.
Got a whole bunch of categories that I can't watch because it will upset me.
Totally understandable. I mean,
No, for sure.
However, I do read the plot lines on Wikipedia.
So that's the important part, right?
Like watching it, I can't handle. Reading what's in it, I can, except like I'm coming to the conclusion I can't read or know much about serial killers because it makes me feel physically sick. So that is the new thing I've learned about myself.
you say as I've been watching the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
I was about to say you've not been watching Dharma, have you? That's piqued
Mhm.
my interest because it came up as a ad, and then
Yeah.
Netflix crashed when it was getting to like the peak of the trailer, and I was like, well, now I have to know like how
I will
many, because
say-
I've watched some like behavior stuff about Jeffrey Dahmer, and then like I
Right.
looked into what he did, and I was like, no, now I feel sick. I
Yeah,
can't
no,
unlearn this.
It's one of those things. Like, I think it has to do with being a psych person, like a mental health professional. That I find it fascinating, but also highly disturbing. Just the crazy stuff that serial killers do. But also, we're not here to talk about serial killers.
This is not the theme of this
No.
podcast.
No, not at all. So anyway, Dan.
Yeah.
We kind of talked last time about how we create characters. What's kind of like your go-to? How do you like to make characters?
So anytime I make a character for myself that doesn't need to like be fitting into like a category, like 'cause sometimes obviously when you're jumping into a campaign, like with say Gil, you kind of have to fit into like a specific category. But if I'm making my own character just off to do my own thing, I usually start with trying to think of like, before I ever even look at the races or anything. I mean, let's be honest, 95% of the time I pick dwarf anyway. But before I pick a race or anything like that, I try and think of like what I want the character to be accomplishing, I guess, or whatever. I guess it's
Yeah.
kind of like what you were saying earlier, Ellie, with the like a concept instead of like whatever.
Yeah.
I've never min-maxed a character in my life. I don't even know how to do that, so I'm not.
I
you
would
know.
love to know how. Like,
Yeah.
I'm envious
think-
of people who do, because I'm like, but how do you fit role play into it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think Ellie and I kind of touched on this last time, and I don't know if Tim's here because he's probably disc golfing with Derek. But
Like a little cutie.
yeah, they're adorable. Too bad we weren't invited to go.
What?
It's only a super long drive, and they
Yeah, like
started
20 hours. No big deal. We could have made it.
Oh, fine. Yeah, I could do that. No time. Shit, I lost my train of thought. So I think we kind of touched on last time that Tim's character, Nikitas from Bad Boys, is like min-maxed in the opposite direction, like not to be combat effective. He's like maximized to all of the RP and like fucking around things rather than actually fighting, because this week when we fight, he may die. We'll see. He can't die because we've already recorded. But
He
you know,
might.
You might.
yeah.
There's always the possibility of death for everyone at all
Yeah,
times.
then we could start calling him Weekatos instead of Swolitos.
Oh yeah, that too.
But no, that's
But
what I
it
do.
sounds
I
like,
focus
Daniel,
on like
you
an
kind of
idea.
think of an arc, like where you want them to start and where you want them to end
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and then it's like, why are they the way they are? And then I'm like, oh, they're this is why. And like, I'll write like a 7-page backstory that all boils down to they suck. Basically, that's how it works.
Yeah, I love how, I mean, technically speaking, Gil has only been on episodes for like 6 months or so. But we started playing with Gil, God, like 2020-ish.
Yeah, it was like the end of 2020 or early 2021.
Yeah. So I mean, we've been playing as him, with him, whatever, for quite a while. And I mean, when you started talking about it, yeah, you sent me a whole list of shit, like this is all of his backstory. And I mean, it's mild spoilers for future episodes of Hammer of the Gods, but like we finally really talked about his backstory this week.
Yeah, Sergio was so
Actually-
rude, would never let me discuss it.
True. A lot of little cons.
Little horse bitch.
No, that's Romano.
I'm also super.
Oh yeah,
envious
Romanos,
of
not
people who
Sergio's. My
can-
bad.
I'm envious of people who can write lots of backstory. Mine is like half a page. I'm
Hey,
like, concept, nothing else.
honestly,
I write a lot, so that's kind of like my thing.
But that's your thing. You say you don't
Yeah.
do anything fun. You write. Little
He just
liar,
doesn't-
you.
post it anywhere.
I
He just
don't.
sends it to me, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Holy shit, that's a lot."
so like I'm stealing that. Thank you.
Also, that, I mean, fun fact, before Dan officially joined the podcast, he was like my co-writer. I'd be like, hey, so how do I do this shit? Like, how do I get this story to this point? And now I mostly just bug you about it, Ellie. I'm like, well, now that Dan's part of the campaign, I can't really ask him how to get the story there, because he'll just be like, I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, so
It'd be
chat
yeah.
is a little bit dead today, at least it seems like, unless my
They're
computer just,
talking, it's not coming through to us.
I'm gonna say, unless my computer just fucking hates me as per usual.
Well,
When I
I'm
look
not seeing
down,
anything,
it's
so-
my tablet, which is down here. So,
Yeah.
just as a heads up.
So anyway, what do we want to make today? Last time we made our small barbarians. We don't have to, I mean, we don't really have a set way that we do this yet, since we've only done it one time. We don't all have to make the same race. We don't all have to make the same class. I kind of like the idea of being able to do different takes on the same class, but we could multi-class. I don't care. We can do whatever.
I'm whatever you
Well-
whatever you guys want to do. It's your creation.
I remember, Rick, you saying that you wanted to like possibly make an NPC on here.
Well, Also, I think I had sent you, Ellie, the the multi-class character that I wanted to make at some point. So we could do that.
We talked about my 3 kobolds and a trench coat
Which is always a
idea.
good option.
Or, as I keep saying, 3 furbolgs in a trench coat, which
So
is
they're
a completely different vibe.
Yeah. So instead of just being like normal person size, they're super huge.
They're like giant. They're trying to get into a giant bar. Although my friend said like a furbolg, you'd barely be able to get like a human trench coat on them anyway. So if you've got that
Right.
on the top furbolg, then what's happening underneath it?
I mean, maybe they just go to like the big and tall store. But the only issue with that was they'd be really, really skinny, tall, but have tiny little T-Rex arms.
I mean, is that not how giants look? Tiny T-Rex arms, giant.
You know, yeah. That's
Not-
totally all
Not giants in America.
Oh man. So yeah, what do you guys think? What do you want to do? What kind of characters are we making? Dan, you're the
Well,
guest, so I'll let you have your
I don't care. I only have the access to the original handbook. I have some others over there that I might be able to dig through, but I didn't really look into. I didn't plan on anything. I thought you guys would have your
Have a
mind.
plan.
Have a plan.
You
No!
thought we would have our shit together?
I don't
No.
think you've met the 2 of us.
Yeah. So I mean,
So I've literally known Dan since preschool. I've known him
Yeah.
for next year will be 30 years. And he thinks I have my shit
Aw.
together.
30.
Oh. You
Well, what's
guys are
your-
so old.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, NPC sounds fun, but also I don't really care. We can multi-class or what. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. I'm looking. I don't care.
cool.
You tell me and we'll do it.
Let's
We need. Oh, you know what we need? There's a TikTok trend where there's like a spinny wheel and it has like all these different things.
Like
We need one
random
of those.
generator.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
mean like how you and I did for the ASMR Bros? How we got inspired for that?
yeah. But like even more so.
Right.
It's like this
See, that
wheel,
would-
and it has like every race, and it has like every class, and like they click and click and click, and it goes through everything until
Ooh.
it's done.
So this is not sponsored. There's a website. What is that called? It's TetraCube. Have you guys ever seen that?
I'm
Have
not.
not.
So it's tetra-cube.com. And I really like, that's what I use a lot of times to make random NPCs, because you can put in like, they have a bunch of different options. You know, you can go with kind of the standard stuff. You can add stuff from the DMG, from
Okay.
like Theros, Ravnica. You could do the Critical Role stuff if you wanted. And then you can go in and you can kind of customize. Like if you have a name in mind for your character, you can go ahead and put that in and whatever. So like, this is not who I'm gonna make, but when I
This is why
opened
I'm
up,
bad at naming characters. Because
Yeah.
my thought was like, oh, I want a character called Frank.
Hey,
Just suddenly
whatever
want a
works.
character called Frank. Can't decide if they're a he, she, or they, but
all of the above,
yeah,
gender fluid.
Frank.
So
Frank.
like whenever I opened the website, it automatically had a character generated, probably because I have it like bookmarked for the character generator. I don't remember what the actual website looks like, but like it came up with they made a forest gnome, conveniently a barbarian, named Lorilla Stumbleduck Waggletop. So something like that. It even comes up with a name for you. So I like that. And I mean, last time I used the fast character generator website, which also
Mhm.
came up with a name for me, which I again don't remember. It's saved somewhere, but not a clue. what it was.
Somewhere,
Yeah.
somewhere Shire.
So I
This is
mean,
interesting. Yeah, no, for sure.
yeah. So do we want to do that?
Yeah.
TetraCube. real
So
quick?
we're gonna build it on here.
Well, so we'll have to start there. That'll give us like what we're gonna
If
do.
you random generate and then we can spitball.
exactly. Then we can, use like D&D Beyond or Fast Character or pen and paper. Like I don't give a shit. We can do it however. I think
Okay, so-
Ellie did pen and paper last time.
Okay. So how do we random generate on here?
Okay. Are you just on like the main website? Or are you on
Touchcube.com. D&D stat block.
Hold
Patamel.
on. I'm just gonna go back to the main website because I have no fucking clue.
Oh,
Yeah,
here it
so-
is. I found it.
Character generator.
I found it. We're good.
Yeah, so I mean, you can pick which books you want to include. I'm gonna personally, because I've not watched any of Critical Role, and I don't know that I will ever be able to, just because there's so much. I'm going to do like I added the DMG, Eberron, Ravnica, Theros, and the Unearthed Arcana. So that's what
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and generate my character. Ooh, I like that.
Do we have to go with the first one we get?
You don't have to. I mean, what? Tell us, Dan. What was your first one?
I got Thyrogog, a Minotaur warlock, male, 32 years old.
I mean,
Occupation, laborer.
oh yeah, that's another, so like you can go in on the different like settings and whatnot. You can let me see. Where do I do that? It's been a minute since I've like messed with it too much.
Interaction trait, rude. Mannerism. Mannerism,
Rude.
taps fingers.
So one cool thing on that is which section is that under?
What do you mean?
Oh, is that just like there it is, I see it now. Mannerism. Trying to see because I know so like if you scroll down, the bottom section is like life that tells you about like where you were born, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so like if you like the character but you don't like what it
Oh, you can lock it. I see.
Well, so like life, if you like that, if it's like, oh, I like those things, you could lock it and then just regenerate. Or you could just like if you just click on generate next to life, it will only regenerate that and everything else stays the same.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you can do that with like almost anything. If you didn't like the class that it was, or you didn't want to play that race with that class, whatever, you can kind of go through and customize that. And obviously, because we're going to, come up with these characters either pen and paper or with like a character generator or like a character builder, we can change that stuff. It doesn't have to stay the same. So yeah, what was the racing class it gave you, Dan?
It was Warlock Minotaur.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
I already changed it though.
Because it sounds too much like Nicholas.
A little bit. And now I have, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, but it's fantasy, so it doesn't matter. Myval Kulinov, Earth Ganassi Artificer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Ellie, what about you? What you got?
Well, so I've generated quite a few now because I was like, nope. One of them, appearance was just piercings. So I think it was a lizard folk warlock, genie warlock, and it was like appearance piercing. So I'd like to think that they are just a singular piercing and not really a creature, because that's not an appearance description.
That would be amazing. Just like
so they're like
just a earring.
Yeah, so they're just like a sentient earring instead of like
yeah.
Normally it's like the sentient weapon or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be worse if it was like nose ring and you just had a voice coming out your nose.
Or better.
I mean, in the ear, at least it can whisper in your ear. out the nose.
That's
Oh
true.
dear. And tongue piercing, you're basically making out constantly. Ugh.
I mean, unless that's what they're into.
So I found, I'm not going to do this character, I'm going to do one on top of it, but a hobgoblin druid is what I've got, called Keelal. And I want to change that to Keelhall, but I'm going to look up some druid stuff and make myself a lovely little druid.
Nice.
And Artemis has joined us,
Oh, hey.
along with Aaron83. Hello.
Well, hello, everyone. Sorry, I forgot to check chat because it was dead for a little bit, but glad to
it's
have you
because
all.
Rick's terrible
The
and
worst.
just hates you all. I'm looking at
Oh.
ranger, not druid. I can't spell, guys.
Same thing. No difference there.
Druid, ranger, same old.
So the one that it gave me, I haven't decided if I want to keep this class. I've already regenerated the domain a few times, but it was a Yuan-Ti Pureblood, and it gave me cleric at first, like an arcana, whatever cleric. I am totally gonna fuck this name up because it's just like a lot of just sounds. It's like Shala. I don't know. It's just a snake name.
You don't have enough hissing on that for a Yuan-Ti.
I
What'd
don't
you-
think I have. I don't think I have the right
Sean-
anatomy.
Or something like that. That's what you need to do, Rick. Come on, man. Get with it.
Speaking parcel tongue.
Yeah, there you go.
All I could think of was Shonda Rhimes, so it's Grey's Anatomy of D&D,
Totally fine.
Oh,
or Bridgerton, or what else? Scandal, I think, was hers, and then How to Get Away with Murder.
Hey Dan, you should have invited Sarah.
she would talk Grey's Anatomy all day long. She's watched that series like 14 times, it feels like. Or maybe we're
it's
still on
gone
this.
to shit.
Maybe we're still on the first watch. I don't know. There's been like
I mean, to be
17
fair,
plane crashes.
It
I
goes
don't
on
know.
forever.
Like she gets like so aggravated at me because I'm like, how are they surviving another plane crash? This doesn't make any sense.
It makes total sense. What are you talking
Anyway,
Well, it's romantic fiction where the creators fucked off to do like 3 other projects.
it's definitely fiction. That's for sure.
It's like
about? Ooh.
when Aaron Sorkin left West Wing, and it was like, what have you done with the series?
I
Why has
never
it gone this weird?
watched that show. I've heard good things. I just never got to it.
I enjoyed West Wing. I enjoyed The Wire, but I'm not watching it again.
So
West
I've
Wing was
decided-
so good.
yeah, that's what I've heard. It's just one of those things
No,
that like,
it is now very dated.
Yeah.
There was, so I remember listening to a podcast where it had a composer and also one of the actors in sort of the later series as the hosts. And there
Nice.
was an episode about autism and autism awareness and stuff.
that's
And they
cool.
brought up Autism Speaks. And I was like,
Mm.
and I'm not listening to this anymore.
Yeah. Having worked in that field, it's like
And then the next time that they like I skipped that episode, and the next episode was them going, we're so sorry, we did not realize the controversy around Autism Speaks, and we will not do this again.
yeah. I mean, I think they had a good concept and then just kind of fucked off with it.
Yeah. They went very seer with it.
So I've decided I really like this because it regenerated a new picture, which I don't have it set up to share. I need to actually do Streamlabs to make it work. But it's really cool because like the second picture, it's basically just like Medusa, but the person is also a snake, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, their new name is Mestli, something like that. Meztli. I have no idea. But they are a ranger Drake Warden. So
Sounds cool.
snakes on lizards, as one does.
So I'm gonna stick with Myval Kulinov, the Earth Ganassi, but I changed it to clicked and got Druid Circle of Wildfire, which sounds fun. And then background is Anthropologist.
I really like Anthropologist and Archaeologist are probably my two current favorite backgrounds. And you can ask Artemis. I have played them a couple of different times in Vectare one-shots because they're just so much fun.
Then maybe I should do something else. Let's see.
Ooh.
Failed Merchant. Perfect.
I love that that's a background.
Worked perfectly, but yeah.
Failed Merchant, trait number 1.
Oh my God.
Customer is
the
always
idea
right.
For that, what you could do, failed merchant, you're one of those dodgy business people. That when it goes wrong, they commit arson and try and get the insurance money.
Just going door to door trying to sell people vacuums.
Yeah, and then when it doesn't work, they burn the house down with the Druid,
which ties into being the wildfire.
Or instead of vacuum, because it's D&D, you're selling them dungeon Roombas, just little baby gelatinous cubes.
Oh yeah, and that's how Bion's family purchases them. Yeah. Yes, perfect. That may be a spoiler. I don't know.
I'm thinking more like, do they have magic? I've been listening to too much Terry Pratchett, but do they have like broomsticks that can fly? Could you just try and sell them dodgy broomsticks that aren't actually magical and have like a temporary allure?
Instead of the what do they call it in an old the fucking Firebolt 2000 or whatever, but it's like it's like fucking like garbage.
It's just an actual broomstick and you cast a temporary spell on it.
Yes, perfect.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to talk for a second, I've got to fix our bot because it's going all Skynet.
I don't know, Nightbot. Whoa.
It's decided it's just gonna like.
Sorry, Artemis. I'm so sorry.
R.I.P.
It really is.
All right, so
Oh,
how do you see what level this random person is supposed to be, or do
we? So that is something you'll have to come up. Like, it doesn't generate level or anything. It just kind of gives you a starting place.
Okay, because Homeboy is 64 years old. So I feel like
level 1.
Oh, level 1. So well with being a dodgy merchant.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm imagining he's got like 2 hairs, Homer Simpson style combo.
Amazing.
Oh.
I wish I could change the artwork and see if there was any other artwork.
I've gone completely off the rails. I've just gone like, Druid, okay. Because I feel like Circle of Spores, the stereotype would be stoner, right?
Oh, I do like that. I hadn't seen that done, but I mean.
Oh, if it's not been done, then fuck it, I'll do it. But like I thought that was pretty obvious of like, oh, it's someone who's really interested in plants.
I mean, in most of our campaigns, we've had at least one person who finds magic mushrooms and does them regularly. So
I didn't even think of mushrooms. I was just thinking weed. Like, you know, the whole week, like there'd just be like 420 smoke every day, like.
Lock all of those.
And if they're like any kind of race that's particularly good with plants or a plant race. I don't think you should really smoke your own leaves. If you're a
Or
plant race.
or maybe you could. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Just feel like that's a bit like eating your own snot. Probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Is-
I mean,
yeah.
not terrible for you, just bad in society.
I mean, it's probably not good for you, for being
Learned
honest.
from the Scooby-Doo movie, not to pick my nose in public.
I mean, if you got to learn it from somewhere or worse place.
It's directly from Shaggy.
Was that the Matthew Lillard
Yeah,
video? I love
that's
those.
the only Shaggy
Well, yeah.
that ever needs to be.
Other than
Okay.
cartoon Shaggy. I mean, Casey
Yeah.
Kasem did a
Well, I
pretty
mean,
good job.
Matthew then voiced, like, he took over from the original Shaggy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Old
it
Casey
was
Kasem.
so perfect.
Yeah.
To be fair, that cast was so good.
Oh, 100%. Like, there is no other cast now. They tried
I
to
really
do.
enjoyed that live action one. Like, I feel so
There's two-
embarrassed about
there's
how
two of them.
much I like it still. Yeah, I know. I like both of them. I remember watching the second one in cinema and laughing so
Nice.
hard that I almost threw up.
That's fair. That's okay.
It
I
was
mean,
the
they're great
skeletons
movies. I don't know where
and
it is
going
now.
down the hill, and I just, laughed until something came out my nose.
As one does.
Yeah,
I can't find
very
it.
nasal obsessed from me today, soz guys.
Could be worse. But no, I
Could
definitely.
be the other end. Right. Shut up. I'm muting myself. Right.
See you later, Artemis. Have fun. Interesting. So looking at my description, they have a distinctive nose, which, I mean, I think as a snake person, you probably would have a distinctive nose. They are high charisma, low constitution, great at impersonations. Mannerisms are prone to singing, whistling, or humming quietly. Ooh, and their value is they are captivated by a romantic interest. But their flaw or secret is forbidden love or susceptibility to romance. So I can't decide which I want to go with.
So now that I'm looking over the background stuff of failed merchant, I didn't have the cutthroat attitude necessary to succeed. I won't make that mistake again.
Oh shit. So
Stabil-
that would fit in perfectly with the arson and like
Yeah.
door-to-door salesman thing. You just get super aggressive.
So imagine, like, I think you started off as like, sorry to jump in, but my
No, you're
brain is like,
How dare you say
jump-
things on this stream where we talk about things?
But like you started off as this lovely fresh face. You were like, you know what? I'm gonna sell bananas to the underdog. I really think this is a business opportunity that has not been approached yet. I mean, maybe not bananas, maybe something else, and maybe not the underdog, but like I've got this perfect thing. And like because you were so fresh-faced and naive, you were taken advantage of. And ever since you've just been this sleazy scumbag trying to get all your money back because
No,
you
that's
took
fair.
out this huge loan to start
Yeah.
up your legit business. And they didn't want you to succeed because they wanted to kneecap you anyway or something. I don't know.
You know,
Bring you
those-
into a kind of place of servitude. And so you're now trying to get as much money as possible, damn the consequences, burn all the things.
Well, my
I mean,
parents.
I'm sure that's probably not what they're about, but
my parents were imprisoned, enslaved, or otherwise taken away, and my childhood home was a rundown shack. So,
Very happy.
but
That's what I mean.
hey, I have a friend who's a human bard, and I fell in love and got married to a Ganassi exile.
What is that?
I
I've never
don't
heard that in my
know.
life.
And then I ran away from battle to save my life, but I still feel shame for my cowardice.
Ooh.
So look at me
So
go.
looking at
I mean,
generated
like
background.
as a wildfire druid, a druid. You can also have a wildfire spirit that you can conjure, so a small elemental.
I will be burning everything down.
That
Yep,
just makes me
and it
think
has
that,
a flame seed, which is its ranged weapon, and then fiery teleportation.
that just makes me think of Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle, which is
No.
great because the English dub it's Billy Crystal. So,
Billy fucking Crystal.
so looking at my Yuan-Ti's background, their birthplace was an alley or street, and my parents abandoned me. So I just imagine like, you know, mom. Are Yuan-Ti live births or are they eggs? Do we know?
I mean, since it's a viper, I would assume it's a live birth. Unless you're like some kind of special Yuan-Ti that's like a garter snake.
Who knows?
Not
It's a
me.
mystery.
I don't know enough about snakes.
Yeah, I don't really either.
But I'm
hey,
imagining like literal birth and then fuck off. Like just leave
Yeah.
the baby.
well, so my childhood home was also a rundown shack. So there's that.
Where the fuck
See-
did my D8 go? I literally just had it. There it is.
So Dan, I'm
Yeah.
just picturing like, because my background for this character is that they're an entertainer. What if your character thinks that what's their face that I'm playing? What if they think that they're a human bard, but actually they're not? They're just like an entertainer Yuan-Ti.
Yeah, I mean, that could check out because it doesn't say anything about my character being smart.
Why play an intelligent character when you could just not?
My flaw for my thing is why spend gold here when you can buy the same thing for copper in the next town? And I don't really see how that's a flaw.
Yeah. I mean, it's the opposite of Bion, but like,
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I
This
mean,
guy-
that's just good business decisions.
yeah, like that's how you
True.
be a not failed merchant.
yeah,
Hmm.
because it's not like you're paying for
I
gas.
feel like he's got everything, like all of his ducks aligned, and then someone went and kicked all the ducks off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my secret is that I enjoy decadent pleasures. Who doesn't? Who doesn't enjoy decadent pleasures? My gosh. What kind of
But,
secret
like-
is that?
But like decadent that only cost copper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
no-
because he's
no-
you know,
No butthole. It'll get us kicked off the stream, ma'am.
for a dog
Oh.
butthole. What?
Yeah, it's a butthole.
Wow. So I have a distinctive posture. I'm either crooked or rigid. Low ability,
Nothing in
dexterity.
between.
Yeah.
Yes. Low ability is dexterity. Perfect.
What was your class again?
Druid.
Druid.
Oh yeah, you don't need to be dexterous for druid.
And then my mannerism is I either have a particularly low or particularly high voice.
That's probably why you didn't get as much business.
Hi, I'm Ivo Kulinov. How are you? I'm here with Dungeon Roomba, trying to sell you a brand new Dungeon Roomba.
What if your fire spirit is a gelatinous cube, like a baby gelatinous cube?
And then like I use it to show them how the dungeon Roomba
How
could
it
work and
could
accidentally
work,
burn their house
yeah.
down every time. Yeah. Oops.
No, you
Why
see,
does
the
this keep
fire-
happening to me?
Oops, all
The
arson.
fire gets rid of the dirt. That's how you know it's getting rid of it. It's
Yeah.
cleansing all the impurities in your home.
Yeah, it's not doing anything I didn't
What's
tell them
that?
it
Your
would do.
home is made out of wood. Oh,
Well, sorry.
you're
RIP.
really good. You make a killing in dwarf settlements. Unfortunately, you keep going for like all the wooden ones.
See?
Yeah.
See? Bion's
You've
family.
just not got the
I mean, it's because, you know, you go and you get the stuff for copper. So you're in all of these communities with less money. So you're just like, oh, well, all these wooden houses, I see no problem here. That checks out.
I'm here for it.
So I finally came up with the species for my character of the spore, the circle of spores. It's going to be a tabaxi, and they're going to be completely addicted to catnip.
Amazing.
And it's
mean-
going to really impair them.
But you could also make it so that, like, in this world, catnip comes from mushrooms. Like, it's mushroom spore catnip.
Yeah, well, so it's molds and fungi and stuff, but I'm imagining like as they're a druid, it's also other plant
Right.
life. That's how I'm gonna play it, is that
Yeah.
they're kind of into a lot.
Absolutely.
Like they're into the flora, but really like their specialty is fungi.
So
Um,
so looking at my life events, my weird stuff is I went insane for 1d6 years, and recently regained my sanity. So that's fun.
Mine is really boring. So
Well, now we
You-
need to know.
tragedy. A friendship ended bitterly, and the other person is now hostile. So that's cool.
Wait, an old friend is hostile?
Yeah, friendship ended bitterly, and the other person is now hostile. The cause might have been a misunderstanding or something you or the former friend did.
You could have burned down their house.
I could have burnt down there. Hey, I have a brass ring that never tarnishes, though. So
I mean, that's pretty sweet.
maybe,
Right.
That
maybe
could
my
be how you claim that it's all cleaned.
maybe my friend who's a human bard is the friend that I had the friendship end bitterly with, and it ended
Yeah.
bitterly because I ran away from battle to save my life.
Mm.
Ah,
We're tying this all in.
yes, yes.
So my trinket is a glass eye, but it's not my glass eye. It's just like a glass eye.
Love it.
So I've
basically
tried
like
to
Snake
generate 3 different life things, and they've all been evil.
Yeah, I forgot to look at my
I mean,
lawful neutral. That
be-
checks out.
Being a tabaxi, that that's fair.
I mean, it's cats. They're just
Yeah.
naturally evil.
Yeah.
I don't like cats, by the way. It's going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I think they're demon spawn, and I do not want them near me. I also don't like kittens. I just don't want any kind of cats near me. I think they're cute. I don't want to touch them.
I have to leave this stream now.
I'm a dog person, like through and through. In my defense, I was scratched by a cat when I was very, very small because I was told to let it out, and we had dogs. So I opened the door, the cat did not go out. So I was like, well, you're going outside. I've been told to make you go outside. So I picked up the cat and it scratched me across the face.
Mm.
I think I was
That's
about
maybe like that.
5. Mm.
I can
Yeah.
only say one thing.
That's my backstory of why I hate cats.
Your
Well,
tragic story.
My cats go to the vet way less often than my dogs have to.
That's
I
true.
mean, dogs are pretty dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I have dog energy, which is pretty dumb. So I'm fine with this. Dogs have a nifty habit of sniffing things they shouldn't and getting them lodged up their nose.
I've never seen that, so that's news to me.
So in the UK, there's like a weed that the tip of it kind of attaches onto things. So it will attach onto clothes, and that's how it seeds itself. And it will attach onto like animals and stuff. And we had a dog, and I know 3 other people whose dogs did this as well, who would go and sniff it, and it would get stuck up their nose.
Mm. So what do you guys call that in the UK? Because I know we have something similar, but I don't know if it's like the same thing.
I can't remember the name of it.
Because
It's probably something similar to what you've got.
yeah, I just think of like briars or burrs.
I'm thinking briars, but I also think, oh no, I'm thinking of brambles. Brambles are just like, why am I using a winding motion? They're like
As one does.
you know, but it's like roses, but on like long whippy things that keep growing into the ground and make horrible, horrible messes
Yeah,
that smell of cat piss.
that sounds like a terrible plant. No, thank you.
It is a horrible plant, and they're really difficult to get rid of. Not as bad as Japanese knotweed, but like
I've never heard of that either. That's
Do not ever
learning
grow
something.
Japanese knotweed. Japanese knotweed is a plant that you have to pour acid into to try and kill.
Okay.
It will devalue your home massively. It's almost impossible to get rid of, and it costs thousands and thousands of pounds to
Holy
get rid
crap.
of. It is a nightmare of a plant. I think it came over to the UK in like 70s. They were like, oh, this is kind of pretty. And I've looked up photos and I'm like, that's not a pretty plant.
Yeah, no, it's
There
really
are
not.
much nicer
Let's-
plants.
Let's go to the Googs.
Also,
The
my
oogly
brain
googlies.
thought like not weed, like it's not marijuana. That's not. No, it's the K kind.
This is what they thought was a pretty plant.
Yeah, it's a horror. It doesn't look good, does it? It's just kind of
It's just green.
yeah.
Nothing personal, but I mean, this is the British population we're talking about. So,
In the 70s.
yeah.
Well, this
That was
one's
a
kind of
bad time.
nice because it's kind of red.
The 70s was a bad time for like everything.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Thinking
think
about
that's when a
talking-
lot of strikes happened.
American design choices in the 70s were top notch. Okay.
What, brown on brown on brown with orange?
Oh yeah, you got the orange. I was like, if there's no orange thrown in there, we're gonna have a problem because you
And maybe
gotta
a
have
bit
the
of
orange.
beige.
Bit of
And
beige, little orange, sometimes some
carpet.
yellow.
And carpet.
It
is
really
definitely
tickles me whenever I see like nostalgia things because I wasn't alive in the 70s, but like obviously my grandparents and great grandparents had stuff from the 70s and all of it was brown.
Yeah.
And
Or
so
those
whenever I see like
couches.
nostalgia stuff and it's like really bright, and I'm like, I swear there should be more brown in
Yeah.
that.
100%.
Those couches that were like scratchy.
Yeah.
Listen, best napping couches on the planet.
Debatable.
Were they like corduroy and brown?
I've seen some like that.
No.
And then there's like the ones with the really ugly
Like
flower.
but really thick corduroy,
Oh, yeah.
like
absolutely.
the big thick lines. But anyway, yeah. And
Yeah,
then
no,
the
I
paisley.
know exactly which couch you're talking about.
My
See, The
grandparents
ones I'm
had that
thinking aren't
couch.
paisley. These are just like shitty, cheap flowers. I don't know.
I think
Anyway, we are way. Did
Turd blossoms.
you say turd blossoms?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
so I've redone my life. I wish
Okay.
I could do that in real life too.
I was thinking the same
Um,
thing about myself.
Actually,
I'm-
no,
I'm
I
just
say
sticking with
that.
what I have.
I'm actually kind of fine with my life right now. You'd asked me like 8 months ago, very different story. But
Right.
so my character is called Smoking Mirror and is also known as Smoke as a tabaxi, which I felt was appropriate.
With the
I love
catnip thing for sure.
I drew it.
Oh, yeah.
So birthplace, a field. I was born in a field. Absent parents. My parents died. We've had a modest lifestyle in a small house. Others saw me as different and strange, so I had few companions, which makes sense because I was obsessed with fungus.
What shows
Why?
that
Like,
love?
no kid is normal when they're like, you know what, I really want to look at mushrooms.
That's true. Or mold or fungi.
Like, you know, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get something and let it rot for a while. And everyone's going to be like, we don't want to play with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as long as it's not like roadkill, then we're
I'm imagining that as well.
because like
They were the
roadkill,
weird kid.
you're like right on the borderline of that serial killer territory.
Completely different story. At college, when I was studying art, there was a girl in my class. So college in the UK is between 16 and 18. So it's not university, which is 18 plus for you guys.
Wow, that's interesting.
And need
I
to
really didn't
keep
know that.
remembering that. Yeah. So whenever I refer to college, it's between 16 and 18. And then if you hear British people talking about uni, it's 18 above.
Right.
So, so the more you know. But so we were at college and she was doing a project where she would find roadkill and make casts of it and cast it in plaster, and I think she did a few metals as well, cast this roadkill.
Interesting.
So I think she had like a pheasant, she had a fox, a couple of birds.
That's yeah,
Yeah. Like,
that's a thing.
I know
that was my art classes, and I was like, I paint good and I can sculpt. I can do a realistic, ox head, but
so I know a guy in real life who like is really, really into like
taxidermy
stuff. Well, sometimes taxidermy, but more of like he's got the little what do you call them, like the dermistids or whatever that eats the flesh, and so like he preserves the bones and things like that, which on one hand is kind of neat. On the other hand, I'm like, if there's a serial killer in the town that we live in, it's probably him. So I always try to be really
missing.
nice. I'm like, well, please just don't murder me.
For anyone I know. See, I do the opposite. Yeah. I'm really rude to people that I don't.
Like, just in case, you're like, you know what? Fuck you.
No, I'm generally quite polite. The voice helps. But I think it was because I used to listen to a lot of true crime. And I remember just hearing quite a lot that like I just shouldn't be polite to people that I have no time for. And I was like, oh, I do that anyway. This is fantastic.
Which is also a strategy because I mean, so many of them charm you or whatever.
When people try and catcall me, I tend to shout back at them, which doesn't happen often. It happened when I was like 14 and like 16, and then I think once when I was 18, and my friends were like, shut the fuck up. And I was like you what? Bring it on.
Yeah, it's really creepy how that works, how it tends to be like younger women, and then once you reach a certain age, it's just like it kind of stops.
Well, I'm only like 28, so in theory I should still be getting catcalled, but
the thing is, I mean, it's usually people who are creepy and trying to take advantage of somebody who's young.
Well, I think like when I was 14, I think that one was, I was wearing like combat boots and a skirt and a tank top, and I was like, what about me makes you think hot? Like, I mean, nothing about this being is like, you know what, I want to smash that.
Hey, I mean, everybody's into different stuff,
But I guess it's more probably intimidation than anything. Anywho, back to my character, which apparently
we're doing great.
I have
today.
I know, right?
Which we also did last time. So
yeah. I have two siblings. One is neutral evil.
What kind of evil were you?
I think I'm now neutral good now on this run. Before I was chaotic evil, and then lawful evil, and then neutral evil. And now I'm neutral good.
As one does.
Yeah. I have a character that is actually evil, and she didn't begin as evil. She began as neutral, and now she's evil, and I don't know how to handle this.
Oops.
Because I feel like the only reason she's evil is because she's in a party of people she hates.
That'll fucking do it.
Well, so she's an orc in my friend's like homebrewed D&D world. She decided instead of to follow a pre-existing campaign or anything, her first campaign was going to be homebrewed. She was like, that's a lot. Didn't read through the manual properly. So I was the rules lawyer for the whole thing. Very stressful. But I made a character that's an orc that's oppressed species in this particular world, and the elves are the ones that are reaping the benefits of it. And so I was like, oh, it'll be really fun to play a warlock who wants to obtain power from the elves. This will be great. Other people will surely have this idea too, because it's such a like clean-cut idea, like it's so obvious. No,
can't count on
they
people
all
having-
went for elves. So I'm in a party of elves as a character
Ugh.
that despises elves.
That's awkward.
To be fair, fuck elves.
Yeah, I mean her highest stat is deception, so
So I mean,
and any
that's-
chance she gets to kill an elf, she'll take it, like to the point where she tore through a whole town just to try and kill one.
you know, as one does. Which,
And
you know,
the
when you're
DM
being
didn't
impressed-
quite understand how to like extradite her character, because every
Yeah.
time she tried to like teleport away, I'd counter spell it. She was like, you can't counter spell it, and I'm like, no, but you can though.
Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much counterspell any spell.
Mm-hmm. She
Should you
had
always?
counterspell. Probably not. I probably should have left it alone, but in character, it's the right call.
I'm here for it.
However, afterwards, I was like, maybe I should leave this campaign. I don't think I fit.
Yeah.
So they've got
Okay.
a younger brother who's an evil explorer that is alive and quite successful, which I'd like to think is the reason they're evil. Apparently, I've got a friendly relationship with this neutral evil sibling who is younger. And then I've got, they both went for the same occupation. What
Of
a
course.
boring family.
If it
Life
helps,
events.
like- But what?
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was going to say life events. I made a friend with a hobgoblin fighter.
Okay.
They're both into drugs. Trying to think of a better way to say that, but
But here we are.
illicit substances. There we go. Tragedy. You were imprisoned for a crime you didn't commit and spent 126 years of hard labor in jail or shackled to an oar in a slave gallery. Hard labor. We'll do hard
Yeah.
labor.
Yeah,
I don't
if
like
the
that
options are
second
between-
option.
Yeah, if the options are between slavery and anything else, I'm gonna go with anything else. Like,
Like, I'm not into that. It'd be
yeah.
really weird if I was. I am British, so in theory, it's part of my stereotype. But
I mean, we're
I
American.
go to
so-
a country,
I feel like I
take all
shouldn't
their
laugh at that,
stuff.
but here I am
I-
laughing anyway.
I
It's
mean,
the
we could
stereotype of the British, isn't it? We go
And
into the
American.
country, ask if they have a flag, and declare it
idiot.
ours.
Oh, Eddie Izzard.
Do you have a flag? No flag, no country. That's the rule that I've just made up.
I love them so much.
He is inspired by the Goons. So if you ever get a chance to watch Spike Milligan on YouTube, he accepted, I think, a Lifetime Award. I mean, he's dead now, but he accepted a Lifetime Award years ago. And the king, the now king, wrote a letter to say that he really loved Spike's work, and like it was very grandiose about how much he admired Spike Milligan, because he used to listen to the Goons on the radio.
Right.
And Spike was what a groveling little bastard. So I start reading it, and then if you watch him on any interviews, as soon as they start the prelogue of like Spike Milligan, one of the most successful whatever, and he'll just shout from the side of the stage, hurry up. No one wants to listen to this.
I mean,
Absolute comedy icon.
yeah.
Probably quite problematic now though, because his comedy was post World War II. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really just more and more stuff I realize looking back, I'm like, this is not good.
I mean, I had so many. It's like The Goodies. They've got an episode of The Goodies that I thought was hilarious, and then I rewatched it recently and was like, "There's blackface on that."
Yeah.
Great.
There's a lot of stuff from like the 80s and 90s that I grew up on, and rewatching it, I'm like, this is terrible. How did I ever like this? But,
Lots
yeah.
of transphobic stuff too.
Yeah.
Um,
Friends comes to mind.
Oh, my boon is a friendly alchemist gifted me with a potion of healing or a flask of acid. I choose. I'm going to say acid, and then I can one day decide to drink it.
I didn't get a boon. That's bullcrap.
And then trinket, a rope necklace from which dangles 4 mummified elf fingers.
Perfect. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Also, I love anytime that there's a vial of acid. I love that like almost every player I've ever played with is like, is it acid or is it acid?
I mean, it was. I didn't even think of that. Wow, I'm so straight laced. I really would like to eventually make, like, every time I end up going like, okay, so I'm going to make a druid, or like, I'm going to pick this class and make a character of it. Start reading through and I'm like, man, I'd really like to play this class. This is really, like, they've got some cool shit in here. Like the circle of stars, your wild shape becomes a starry celestial form. Like, dude.
It sounds dope as fuck, doesn't it?
So that's, if you saw it in the chat, if you saw Artemis talking about Aster from one of their games, Aster is a Yuan-Ti pureblood, and they are a Circle of Spores druid, or not spores, stars. Brain, same word, basically.
They begin with S, it's fine.
Yeah. There's an R in there.
They both end with S. It's all good.
Like, they're letters, it's all the same.
Yeah, exactly. Words are fake. Time's fake. It's all fake.
Reality isn't real.
My dogs are barking.
Yeah, that's fake.
I keep seeing people outside my window and it's really like out of the corner of my eye, really freaking me out.
That might be fake.
You never know.
It's like, wait, what? It's just the neighborhood kids like going and playing football, but it's just, what? I'm
But,
always worried it's the cat that's tried to adopt us. Yeah.
I was gonna say not the football that Dan's wearing a jersey.
The real football.
What, the
Can we
football
play
that
with our
came after
hands?
our football.
Yeah.
The one where you couldn't kick it properly.
And
Yeah.
it's funny because
It's
Dan's
like,
wearing,
oh, we can't kick it properly. We've got to hold it.
yeah.
And not
Well,
only that, we've only got to throw it backwards. Oh, no, that's rugby.
That's
Never
rugby.
mind.
So like I did not know until I started playing rugby, and I was just looking at like the history of football and rugby since, like, obviously UK, whatever, every other country other than America, football obviously came first, and then rugby came second, and then American football came after that. I did
I feel
not
like
know-
American football, you guys were like, we want our own thing. That's not
Yeah.
cricket.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wouldn't that have been
And-
baseball if we're comparing it to cricket?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, we kind of did that too.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking because like cricket is one of the biggest sports worldwide. I think it's
That and
first or
football.
second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cricket-
Really?
Yeah, and like
cricket makes
India
zero
is
sense.
massive on, like, there's huge, I think it's Australia, India, Britain, and I can't remember the other country. Huge on cricket. Like
That's
there's been
fair.
a lot of scandals around cricket. I don't care for cricket. I don't understand it.
It's very confusing.
But I know it's huge, and my dad used to listen to it, and it was so dull. It'd be like day 5 of the cricket, and I'd be like, "What sport lasts 5 days?"
To be fair, baseball is also very boring, but I like it because it's like a casual thing that you can just sit there with your friends and drink beer and like kind of watch it.
So baseball seems like rounders to me. I don't know whether you guys know about rounders.
No.
I've heard the name, but I have no idea what it is.
I've literally never heard of anything about this.
Okay, so
We
Rounders
are not
is what
creating
we
any
used to play
characters,
as.
guys.
No.
Oh no, they're creative,
So I was-
sort of.
well, I'm now looking at other things. I'm like, ooh, starry, celestial.
So baseball, right? That's like the sport that you can play if you're fat but not athletic. As long as you're strong and can hit the ball really far, it doesn't matter. Because if you can hit the
And you
ball
can-
far enough that they can't catch it before you get to the
Yeah.
base.
Well, and you have to run
Weightlifting.
somewhat.
I mean,
Yeah, I
it was
would
like
say
a light
weightlifting
jog
is-
whenever I would play.
Yeah.
There was no running. It was a brisk walk.
Weightlifting is really good for bigger people. So I'm part of a weightlifting club. Not that you can tell, I'm very weak. I've been there for 3 years and I'm still one of the weakest people there.
If
but
it helps, I lift quite a bit,
it's
but
so
you would not
fun.
know. And like
It's
I know,
really fun telling people who don't lift. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can deadlift like 85 kilos. And they're like, that sounds so heavy. And I'm like, yes, it's definitely not my actual weight. Sorry,
Yeah.
kilos to pounds.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I-
guys.
I saw
Oh,
it the other day.
187. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with it. And I can squat 65 kilos.
Hey.
Like back squat.
Yeah.
I'm really good with my thighs and my upper body. I've been
Yeah,
stuck
no,
at
I'm the
35
same way.
kilos for ages on my bench.
I don't know conversions. We've had this conversation more than once.
We have. I'm so sorry for all the American people here. Kilos are much better because it rounds to 100.
That's it.
Oh,
I'm leaving.
I completely agree, but yeah. So
You're
like,
like, I hate this British lady. Goodbye. Good day to you, sir.
so like I was saying, you couldn't tell by looking at me that like I'm pretty strong. Like my regular deadlift is, according to this, 136 kilos.
Oh, nice. I want to break
Yeah.
100 one day.
I mean,
does
I
it
have
make the
very
bar
strong
bend at all? Because that's always impressive to me when the bar bends slightly.
I usually, so like I have a really bad habit. I'm sure this is boring everybody.
Oh,
but-
sorry, guys.
No,
We should probably save this for after. Character creation. I want
Yeah.
to play a character that can weightlift. Let's keep going.
My character can lift 600 billion kilos. What now?
I was gonna say, like, for deadlifting, I can't do the straight bar because it always ends up killing my lower back. I have bad
Oh,
form with that.
okay. I
So I
was going
do
to say you've
bar.
got a terrible form.
Yeah, I don't know why, because like they'll look at me and they're like,
Maybe
yeah,
it's
everything.
your
looks
grip.
fine. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Either way, let's see.
Ah! Sorry,
you-
I just read fungal infestation. Your spores gain the ability to infest a corpse and
Yeah.
animate it.
Yeah, that's like one of the big things for circular sport.
At the start, it says undead that seek to replace all life with undeath. Like these druid believes that the natural cycle is healthiest when each segment is vibrant and changing. Undead that seek to replace all life with undeath or try to avoid passing into a final rest must be thwarted. And then it's like, you know what we're going to do though? Animate a corpse.
But if you think about it, they're not really undead. Like you're not giving them any kind of sentience. It's just mushrooms.
It's like the zombies from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
They're like
I know.
mushroom zombies.
Yeah, I know nothing about it.
I'm trying
Well, I
to think,
feel sorry
isn't
for you.
there Resident Evil zombies that have mushrooms at some point?
I thought they were
it's
just zombies.
the last one.
Oh,
Not,
see, I haven't played the
Village. The one before was all about fungal infections. It's all
I know
about,
there
you
was
know,
one with
Ugh.
like I know there was one.
athlete's foot and whatnot.
Oh god.
Well, I think there was one with like a parasite, but I haven't
I
played
think
them.
that's, is it 7? Is Village 7 or is Village 8? I think Village is 8.
If
No,
John
Vil-
Again,
can
it's
probably tell us.
something I probably can't play.
I think
but
Village
I
is
like
7
reading the book.
because it's the V for village and then the II
That's
for
what it's-
7 village.
Yeah.
I think.
So it must be 6 is the one with the fungal infections. If anyone is in the chat who could let us know.
If John was in the
I
chat, he
swear
would be getting
one of
banned by
them,
the bot.
it's the
by
one with the
Troll
family
Cats.
that gets infected by the black moss spores, not moss, spores. Why did I say moss?
I mean, Moss could probably have
I'm
spores.
thinking about the moss that's outside my house that has died.
Moss is surprisingly easy to kill, I have learned.
Yeah. Although I figured out a way to keep my orchid alive. I know it's not moss, but it keeps dying. Like, I am not good at keeping orchids alive.
Orchids are really tough, so that makes sense.
They are so dramatic. Oh my
You know,
god.
Because we've been talking about D&D, when you're saying orchid, I'm picturing
We've been
orc.
talking about D&D.
Well, just hear me out, Rick. Jeez. I'm picturing orc
Tell me about
kid.
it.
Orc kid. You're having a hard time keeping your orc kids alive, and they're really dramatic. These orc kids.
That's amazing.
That's what my brain went. I was like,
child
wait.
abuse.
Yeah, like my
unfortunately,
brain
that's
just went down the
also-
wrong. I was like, I'm not talking about flowers anymore. I'm on orc kids.
We're on small, tiny baby orcs.
So
That would be
But
so
also
fucking
vicious.
cute, though. Little orc babies.
with their little
Okay,
like,
but like, so I was told that the cutest babies end up being ugly adults. So,
can be
like,
true, yeah.
orcs, height of cuteness.
I mean,
I'm gonna Google
I can see that.
This
Baby
is, by the
orc.
way, that's what my mother informed me after telling me that I was a very cute kid.
Yikes.
So I
Damn.
know what my mother's opinion of me is.
Thanks, Mom.
We've
So,
got a
back to
great
the
functioning
D&D.
household.
So back to the
I'm
D&D.
so sorry, guys. I keep
No.
taking us
we-
off.
Trust me, it's not just you, it's all of us. So I didn't even look at like my personality under the ranger or under the entertainer background, but my view of the world is the advancement of civilization is the best way to thwart chaos, which I don't know if I like that.
So
True.
you're like British colonialism.
Yeah, but like as a ranger, why would a ranger be like, oh, let's advance civilization? That
Well, I
sounds-
mean, you can be an
How's that?
urban ranger.
No.
I'm just saying you can. Like that's a thing.
fake news. Sorry, no, that's not.
Be a
Tell me more about urban rangers.
you could be a ranger of the concrete jungle. So
AKA Predator.
I keep thinking of trolls from Terry Pratchett, which are made out of the rock of their sort of birthplace, and they take on the attributes of the rock. And there's a character called Brick who was raised in the main city, like the capital, and he's called Brick, and he's thick as 2 short planks. Yeah, it's the same kind of coloration, like he can blend into the walls because of his that's what I thought of with urban
Right.
ranger. I was like, yeah, trolls, got it.
That is fantastic. I mean, honestly, the Urban Ranger does sound nice, but I was just like, colonial shit. Let's get away from that.
well, yeah, but I mean, I was just saying because you were like, why would he care about advancing? And I'm like, well, because like he could be an urban ranger. Maybe he doesn't like the woods. He's like, oh, but he's like cities. He's like, hey,
It's like the whole of my friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love cities. I hate not urban, that's the wrong one. Rural spaces.
people
Yeah.
hate rural spaces. Is that really a thing?
The
though?
funniest thing that I have found, so loads of people from London have started moving out to the countryside, and then they wonder why the countryside is so loud.
Yeah, it's not quieter. It's just different sounds.
Those films lie. They lie.
Yeah.
It's not
It's just different
tranquil. It's a
sounds.
whole bunch of birds shouting about how they want to fuck each other.
Yeah, birds are fuckboys for sure.
And also how they're gonna fight. We've got pigeons that like resting, I want to say, waddling on the fence, and they keep frequently either bone or fight.
I mean, as one does.
That's all I do.
That's the point of existence, you know?
Yeah, boning and fighting.
That's it. There's nothing
Which,
else.
you know, my character does like fall in love with people really easily, so that checks out. So for my
What was your
entertainer
class
background,
again?
Drake Warden Ranger.
Nice.
Yeah. So my background is entertainer, and then it had a trait of I get bitter if I'm not the center of attention. So they could be a very urban ranger. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Their ideal is honesty. Art should reflect a soul. It should come from within and reveal who we really are. That's way too deep. I don't know how to talk about that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Art can just be pretty.
But my bond is I want to be famous, whatever it takes.
Which ties into you not being, you want to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
And also wanting to create a civilization around yourself. You can be Alexander the Great.
Well, so that's even better because my flaw is, despite my best efforts, I'm unreliable to my friends. Oh, and interesting. So I became an entertainer because I had a keen insight into other people, enough so that I could make them laugh or cry with my stories or songs. So like I can entertain people, but like you cannot rely on me for shit. And I'm probably gonna fuck everything up.
Oh, I thought you were just going to end that sentence.
We're just gonna fuck everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That too.
Oh,
Yeah. Screw the horny bard. It's horny rangers for life.
yeah. Why aren't there more horny warlocks? Warlocks are a charisma-based class.
I mean, they're just sugar babies. That's all they are.
Warlock that's just celibate and is very horny, and that's just their whole pact thing. It's like, the more you don't bone, the more power I give you. It's a very spiteful god, not god, patron.
I was gonna say that very quickly turns into like Pact of the Incel.
Yeah. Like, imagine how bitter and twisted your little warlock's gonna get.
I mean, if this is like maybe not the BBEG, but like, you know, a minor evil person could make sense.
I was
Like,
gonna say, like, the thing is with incels, they don't have charisma.
what? No.
What do you mean that my personality is not really that great? I held the door open for you. Eh.
What's
Yeah.
that? You play video games and a girl? Prove it. You need to list off a bunch of lore that no one else knows.
Name every video game ever.
Yeah, you play video games. I bet it's My Pretty Princess Pony. Me.
Or whatever the fuck they say. I don't know
Secretly
what
plays
about.
it. Yeah. No.
I would play that game. That game sounds pretty dope.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a market for pony games. The market is not me personally, but I know quite a lot of women really want like a good pony game, or horse game, I should say.
I mean, there are a lot of bronies out there, so I mean, I'm sure they would be into it too.
Yeah, I just can't stand horses. They're gonna bite off your fingers. No thanks.
So she doesn't like horses. Doesn't like cats.
So let me put it this
What else do we
way.
not
When
like?
I was a teenager, I was very much not like the other girls. So I like pink and black and girly colors and not girly colors. I like bright colors the best. I'm trying to think of what I don't like. People.
Perfect.
And horses.
And
People, cats, horses, y'all suck.
It's really funny because at work people are like, oh, but you're so social, and I'm like, yeah, because I have to.
Yeah. It's totally different. That's a fake
Like,
personality.
I hate people. I
Yup.
would rather be at home alone right now
Same. every
instead of
time. Yep,
talking with people. So
I feel that.
yeah. And it makes you look really antisocial when they're like, what are you going to do when you get home? And it's like, nothing. I want to stay as far away from everyone.
Yeah. Or when
It
they're like,
makes
"Oh,
me
we should do
happy."
something." Yeah, or when they're like, we should do something after work. We could just not.
Yeah, we could just not do that and pretend like we did.
We could just
So
continue on this relationship of not going out after work hours.
Absolutely.
Well, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I got to
Well,
bail.
I was gonna say
No, that's fine. We've spoken for a while and it's divulged into not D&D.
yeah.
Michael
It's probably-
Kulinov may make an appearance someday in a real game.
Maybe. Allegedly.
Also, I just realized he's 5'4", so that is a
Perfect.
tiny Earth Ganassi.
I mean, they're just kind of like
Oh,
normal
that's
size.
my height. Oh, good for him.
Dan is kind of enormous, so
Yeah, I'm
IRL.
like 6'4" IRL, so
Oh my God. You're like an entire foot taller than me.
it.
which I love. I love that feet are still a thing.
Yeah,
is
you
like-
guys still use feet, and like I saw somebody use miles one day, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah, we use miles. It's really dumb. We shouldn't.
Yeah.
We use miles. Feet we only really use for height, like as in people height.
right,
My mum still uses stone for weight.
which makes absolutely like. Still
Yeah.
works.
I can't tell her how much I weigh or how much I lift because she doesn't understand. What else do we change it for? Like, there are certain things that are done in acres.
I forget that that's like not a thing in other countries.
I'm trying to think of what else we like. Farming stuff is always in acres.
Yeah.
General measurements is metrics are like meters and stuff. They're trying to force us to go back to fully imperial, which is a bad idea because like people of my generation don't know imperial. We only know metric.
Yeah, that's like anytime they talk about switching to metric here, everyone's like, no, we don't understand it, so let's not.
It's just to the nearest hundreds. It's great. What I do not get, what really bothers me is any recipe that says teaspoon, unless it's like the official like little measurement teaspoon
Right.
or like tablespoon, because like they're very different to how an actual tablespoon would measure and what the official tablespoon measurement thingy is. And it really bothers me. Anyway, Dan, I shall leave you alone.
no, you're fine. It was
Bye.
nice meeting you.
Lovely meeting you as well.
And we will see you guys later.
So thanks for joining us. We'll do this sometime next month.
Let's do this next time and roll the characters because like this random thing is fun, but I think I enjoy rolling
think
more. So
we
That's
should
me.
have
Yeah.
a brief, maybe ask followers, give some options, and then like a race and a class, and then make characters
Yeah.
like that.
perfect.
We'll figure this out eventually. It'll
Yeah,
be
one of
fun.
these days. So,
For sure.
all right. Well, see you all
Bye.
next
See you later.